You wake up with a strange feeling. Maybe a slight giddiness, a warmth spreading through your body, a loosening of your inhibitions. You might even feel a little clumsy. You've likely experienced the effects of alcohol. For nearly all of human history, long before the first vineyards or breweries, your ancestors encountered similar sensations. It wasn't always from a glass or a bottle. It was in the wild, in nature itself. Today, alcohol is a global phenomenon. Billions worldwide consume fermented beverages, from casual drinks to celebratory toasts. But why do you, and so many others, find yourself drawn to this particular experience? Is it purely cultural, or does its appeal run far deeper, etched into your very evolutionary past? Consider the animal kingdom around you. You might imagine that only humans seek out the buzz of intoxication. But that would be a profound misunderstanding of the ancient world. The truth is, many animals actively seek out naturally fermented foods, and they certainly feel the effects. This isn't just a quirky anecdote. It's a key piece of evidence in understanding your own long-standing relationship with alcohol. In the late 1990s, the biologist Robert Dudley, from the University of California, Berkeley, proposed what he called the drunken monkey hypothesis. This idea suggests that your primate ancestors, long before they were human, were attracted to the smell of alcohol because it signaled ripe, fermenting fruit, which was a rich source of calories. Think of it as an ancient biological beacon. He argued that the ability to detect and metabolize alcohol gave these ancient primates a survival advantage. They could quickly find and consume energy-dense food. What else does the animal world reveal about this ancient attraction? Take the mischievous vervet monkeys of St. Kitts. These primates have developed an undeniable fondness for fermented sugarcane. They even snatch cocktails left behind by tourists. Studies, including observations by researchers like Kimberly M. Campbell, have shown they display drinking patterns eerily similar to humans, sometimes even preferring alcoholic drinks over non-alcoholic ones. They sometimes binge, and sometimes choose moderation. Does this sound familiar to your own social circles? Or consider the tiny pintail tree shrews in Malaysia. These small, furry creatures feast nightly on the fermented nectar of the Bertam palm flower. Their drinking sessions can last for hours. They consume alcohol levels that would incapacitate most humans. Yet, surprisingly, they don't show obvious signs of intoxication. How do they manage this? They possess a unique metabolic adaptation, a highly efficient system for processing alcohol. This allows them to extract the caloric benefit without suffering debilitating hangovers or motor impairment. It's an evolutionary arms race with nature's own brew. You might assume that only mammals indulge. But the sky is full of drunken flyers. Cedar waxwings, for instance, have a particular taste for overripe berries. These berries, left on the branch too long, ferment naturally. What happens when the birds eat too many? They get drunk. These birds have been observed flying erratically, crashing into windows, displaying all the hallmarks of a berry buzz. Their judgment is clearly impaired. Their cousins, the Bohemian waxwings, are no different. In one documented instance in Vienna, hundreds of intoxicated Bohemian waxwings were found dead after crashing into a building. They had consumed so many fermented berries they lost all sense of direction and coordination. Even fruit bats in Central and South America join the party. They feast on fermented fruits, sometimes becoming so intoxicated that they struggle to fly straight. Their aerial acrobatics turn into clumsy tumbles. These animal observations paint a vivid picture. Alcohol, in its natural, unrefined form, has been a part of the environment for millions of years. It's a natural byproduct of decomposition and fermentation, especially in sugary fruits and nectars. Your ancestors were certainly exposed to it. But did your ancient body have the tools to handle it? The answer is a resounding yes. Your own ancestors developed a key enzyme. In 2014, a study led by Matthew Carrigan, then at the Feldman Lab, revealed a crucial evolutionary shift. They discovered a specific mutation in the ADH4 gene, an alcohol dehydrogenase enzyme, which helps break down alcohol. This mutation, which dramatically increased alcohol metabolism, appeared in your primate ancestors roughly 10 million years ago. This was precisely around the time these ancestors moved from arboreal, tree-dwelling lifestyles to ground-dwelling. What does this mean for you? It meant they were likely encountering more fermented fruit on the forest floor, fruit that had fallen and begun to rot and ferment. The faster they could metabolize the ethanol, the quicker they could absorb the calories and avoid debilitating intoxication, allowing them to escape predators or find more food. It was an ancient biological imperative. So, let's reconstruct a scene. Imagine you are an early human, perhaps 200,000 years ago. You're foraging with your group in an open savanna, or perhaps at the edge of a dense forest. You come across a fallen tree, its trunk split open. Inside, wild honeycombs have been exposed. Rain has seeped in, and over time, the sugars in the honey have begun to ferment, thanks to wild yeasts. You approach cautiously. The air carries a distinct, sweet, slightly pungent smell. It's different from fresh honey, but intriguing. You, or another member of your tribe, tentatively dips a finger into the sticky liquid. The taste is sweet, but with a surprising tang, a tingle on the tongue. Perhaps it feels good, stimulating, a slight warmth spreading through your mouth. You share it with your group. Laughter might come more easily. Inhibitions might loosen. Stories might flow with less effort. This wasn't a party as you know it, but a moment of shared experience, a natural high, discovered purely by accident and curiosity. It was a potent combination: calories, a novel taste, and a powerful psychoactive effect. Here's a counterintuitive twist: this ancient connection to alcohol wasn't just about getting a buzz. It was also a survival mechanism. Fermentation made food safer. The alcohol itself acts as a preservative, inhibiting harmful bacteria. It also breaks down tough plant fibers, making nutrients more bioavailable, easier to digest. So, your ancestors were likely drawn to fermented foods not just for the psychoactive effects, but because these foods offered a richer, safer source of energy. It was a skill, an observation, that helped them thrive in a world without refrigerators or cooking pots in the modern sense. They learned to seek out and even create these naturally preserved, calorie-dense foods. This deep, evolutionary history helps explain why you might feel an affinity for fermented foods and drinks today. It's not just about the social ritual, or the taste, or the escapism. It's a primal pull, a leftover biological wiring from millions of years ago. It explains why some of your own preferences are not entirely a product of modern culture. Today, you might reach for a craft beer, a fine wine, or a distilled spirit, enjoying the complex flavors and effects in a controlled environment. But the impulse to do so, that ancient glimmer of attraction, echoes back to those first cautious sips in the wild. So the next time you reach for that drink, remember, you're not just participating in a modern ritual. You're tapping into a deeply ancient, evolutionary impulse, one that helped shape who your ancestors were, long before the first toast was ever made.